Hi, this is a one-wide tileable ghost block generator for Minecraft 1.17. This is a Crafty Masterman design. His video will be linked in the description. You can check that out and exactly how this thing works. I'm not going to go into detail about it now, but check his video out. So this design generates ghost blocks. You can see that there were just 2 diamond blocks here before, and now there are now 4. It works by picking powdered snow up at the same time as it's pushing it and creating a ghost block. You can do this with any block. It's not real, so don't get excited. If you just log out of the game and then log back in, you can see that those blocks were not actually there. Additionally, if you right click on those blocks, I'm just right clicking with an empty fist here, they're gone. But what's really interesting about these ghost blocks is that they block the beacon beam. Or block the rendering of the beacon beam. So if we set these first 2 beacons, speed and haste, and then we generate a ghost block. Generate a ghost block. Quick my redstone there. Then you can see that these beacon beams are gone. However, we're still getting the effects, and they will still be refreshed as soon as they get down to 7 seconds or so. There we go. So we're back up. So if you wanted to have an invisible beacon in your base, you could build something like this. You'd probably want to put it on a clock. As soon as you leave the area and come back, these ghost blocks are not going to be there. If you're playing on a server, anyone else coming into the area is not going to see these ghost blocks, even if they're on your screen. So we can just make a quick clock. We can kind of use this, the machine, to make its own clock with the redstone torch there. As long as we just put some redstone right there. And now we are creating ghost blocks on a clock. Let's see, if we grab some obsidian, we just put it right there. You see, you can just place it literally on top of the blocks because those blocks aren't there. If we do that, then now we have a ghost block generator. If you want to make something that doesn't constantly make noise and move, I've got another little design over here. Again, those blocks over there are not real, but if we were to log back in, those blocks are going to, new ghost blocks are going to generate, cover the beacon beams right back up. This is a design for a area loading detector. This is stemmed from something on SciCraft a long time ago. I couldn't find the original designer, but anyway, the guys at SciCraft have done this. This works by, the Frostwalker turns this into ice. Actually, before the area even renders in, it's so quick. Let's grab a piston here. And if we do this, and then we log out and back in, you can see that before the area was even rendered, these Frostwalker boots turned this into ice, which pushed this block right up here. And then as it goes back to water, it'll have a couple more outputs, which is good if you're trying to cover more than 1 beacon. Obviously, you can do this for only 1 beacon, but if you wanted to cover more than 1 beacon, it'll trigger a couple times in there. If you've loaded the area and then someone else comes into the area, they're not going to see those ghost blocks. Likewise, if someone else has loaded the area and you come back to your base and you don't want to see your beacons, those aren't going to be there. So, and by that I mean the ghost blocks aren't going to be there, so your beacon beam will be visible again. This right here is just it's approximately 1 minute clock. It's just small and compact. You could put any kind of clock on this. Again, like you could put the clock that I have on the first one over there that just kind of runs constantly, but this is going to go about once a minute, and it's going to create a ghost block about once a minute. We just saw it there. This gets random ticked if there's an entity on it, your redstone or burnout time. So we can combine these 2 designs to create this right here. This one will trigger as soon as the area is loaded, and then this one will trigger as soon as this block receives a random tick, which is about once a minute. So those are a great design together. I probably should mention that if this is in your spawn chunks, that's great as a server load detector, but then it's not going to do anything for your ghost blocks because it's pretty much always going to be on. This is never going to be unloaded and reloaded. So this would be only for its if it's elsewhere. So you can just take this, and we put it right back onto our 2 wide tile level generator. Well, 1 wide tile level, but there's 2 sections. And then you've got your crosswalker over here. So when the server boots up, we're going to get an instant load here. And then when this gets random ticked, we're going to get a load here. So if I'll just exit, and as soon as we log back in, this turns to ice. We immediately create 1 set of ghost blocks. This blocks the first 2 beacons, and then as this ice starts to melt, then the observer sees it again, and then we push additional blocks there. And then of course we have this approximate 1 minute clock that is going to just refill in the case that you're on a server and you don't want other people to see these beacon beams as well.